at the end of the day, they are just like the Egyptians. They build a golden calf and they worship a man-made object. We call that idolatry. And they are just like they worship idols just like the Egyptians. And so in a way, God repented. He was so angry. He said, okay, I will wipe these people, and then just out of you, Moses, I will create a new group of people that probably will be more worthy of my love. And Moses said, no, you should keep these people because you promised them, you saved them, you showed to the world that you are a kind, gracious, and merciful God. And God relented. He did not destroy the people of Israel. And He wanted actually to be with the people of God. And He ordered them to make a tabernacle or a tent. Eventually, by the time of Solomon, they will make this some sort of permanent by building the temple of Solomon. So we have the tabernacle. And when Jesus was born, in John chapter 1, verse 14, we are told that, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. The word dwell is also the same word as tabernacle, or made his tent. In Matthew chapter 1, God said, you shall call his name Emmanuel, because God will be with us. So the concept of God with us is the concept of the tabernacle. And so in Exodus we find a lengthy description of how this tabernacle is to be built. And right after they built it, the glory of God descended from heaven and went into the tabernacle in a place we call the Holy of Holies, or the most holy place. And from that time, in a way, now God is dwelling with His people, and God is now accessible. But because of the sin of the people of God, of the Israelites, Moses was not able to enter the tent. He cannot communicate, he cannot fellowship with God. That was the end of Exodus chapter 34. The fact that this was created so that there will be a communion between God and man did not happen. Moses cannot enter the tent. And so God has to speak to Moses while Moses is outside the tent. And Leviticus is going to be the solution. Leviticus, the book of Leviticus, will tell us how God can be accessed, how we can approach God, how can we be close to God, what are the ceremonies, procedures, and everything for us to be able to have fellowship with God. Again, we talk about the style of the writing of the book, of the Bible. When you see Genesis, we see narrative. It's all about story. It's all the story of Adam and Eve, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph. And then when we go to Exodus, we again have all these stories. The story of Moses, the story of Pharaoh, the story of the burning bush, going out of Egypt, and then going around the wilderness journey and approaching Canaan. So we have all these stories, but when we go to Leviticus, we now have the third part of what we said. Narrative, 43%, poetry, 33%, and 24% is discourse. Discurso. So we have now direct message, or what do you call this? What do you call the discourse? Yeah, like the epistles, the kind. Okay, sorry. Hirap English tayo ng English kasi before we had there, meron tayong kasamang Singaporean, Malaysian. Before meron din tayong Thai, tapos kasama tayo ngayon, kapatid tayo ngayong Myanmar. So napipilitan tayong English. Kaya alam ko medyo nahihirapan din. Nahihirapan kayo. Ako, nahihirapan din English. Okay? It's quite difficult for us, but we have to force ourselves. Ang hirap. Kasi Pastor Tonet, okay, anyway, so... Yes? Okay, so we're going to the story of Leviticus. And Leviticus is quite unique also because we are now introduced to the discourse. Here is what you should do and what you should not do. And this is the whole story of the book of Leviticus. The key verse in Leviticus is found in chapter 11, verse 45. When it is said, God is holy, so that you have to be holy. And this phrase has been quoted, okay, in the New Testament, including that of the Lord Jesus Christ. And Peter also, in the writing of Peter, you have to be holy because I am holy. And this is the reason why Moses cannot enter into the tabernacle. Because God is holy and Moses has to be himself holy to enter into the tabernacle. And so, Leviticus gives us a solution on how we are going to have fellowship and communion with God. How we become ceremonially holy. And there is now a system wherein there is somebody that has to be in the middle. Somebody that should be on a morally high ground and ceremonially clean. So that he will be the one to represent us to God so that we can have fellowship. And so Leviticus introduces us to the Levitical priesthood. To the Levitical priesthood. So we first, okay, so that's an introduction.
The book of Leviticus, we know you've been avoiding it because it's weird. So let's fix that. Now remember, the story of the Bible began with humans in God's presence, but they were banished